Kia ora koutou. I know I'm the thing standing in between you and the anniversary cake, so I'm going to keep this pretty snappy. Kia ora koutou, ngā mihi aroha, kia koutou katoa, kua tai mai nei ki te tautoko i tēnei kaupapa e pāna ki a tātou, ngā whānau katoa. Ko Elizabeth Kerekere, tōku ingoa, he mokopunau o te Tairāwhiti. Ko whānau ākai, ko Ngāti Onione, te aitanga o Māha ki rongo whakātanga e Tāmanuhiri o Kunei Iwi. And on my mother's side, County Clare, County Tipperary in Ireland. I live here in Kaiti, and yeah, this is my home. I have a background in violence prevention, so I'm very proud to be doing this work. I also add my congratulations to the Tairāwhiti Violence Free Network. It is incredible work that you do. And especially to the refuge. When I grew up, we left here when I was 5. I grew up in Dunedin. One of my neighbours was a founding member of the South Island refuge movement on the basis of having lived next door to our home, and everything she heard and saw that was going on there, and the regular visits by police to try and engage with my father. But we know that that is a common story across many of our whānau. What I loved about your presentation, especially from Chris and from Kerry, was about that whakapapa. And what you've just said now about haven't we done all these things before? And it's so critical to hold on to the things that we've done before that we know work. And so, you heard about system improvement plans, but there's the whole things that you knew right at the beginning. You said at the beginning, everybody needs to work together. Inter-agency responses, that you focus on the whānau, you listen to their voice, you listen to what the children are saying. All of those things were already known, and that is the strength across the Tairāwhiti of how our agencies work. I think where we get stuck is when we start where we hit the brick walls, and we can only go so far. We can all work together, we can network, we can try, and the constraints of whatever our funding might be, and the way that we have to report on it and tick boxes for it, how we personally engage with and work with the whānau who are in front of us. I think the ideals that you talk about are already there. To employ the way of working, the Tairāwhiti way of working then, the first thing is absolutely how we work with whānau, about keeping it local, that you have someone who is from here. Most of our workers across our region, whakapapa, Tairāwhiti. When I was working in Whangaia, most of the police, whakapapa Tairāwhiti, or nearly all of the kaiawhina did, are doing whatever it takes. I think all of us would want to be able to do that for our whānau. The example that Kerry gave about sorting out the power bill so they could get an alarm. So many times in our jobs, it's like we can do this piece here, but we can't do that piece over there. And if we can't find other agencies that can pick up some of that, our whānau fall through those cracks, just don't get what they need done. So different agencies can say, we did our bit, but we still haven't actually heard the whānau voice, we haven't acted on it, and we have not met their needs. I guess Taiora is trying to get to a place that says, right, taking the combined passion, commitment, all of the knowledge that we have gained through many, many tests, many ways of operating, and the strength of this movement in Aotearoa, what do we do about family harm right now that will shift things, that will change things? And that's our task, to set up an iwi hub that says, okay, if family comes away from police into being fully iwi-led, being fully community-led, what does that actually look like? How will that actually work? That is our task. So, I'm not sure if aroha mai I missed this morning. My partner went and fell over, did a near Achilles, spent the morning at the fracture clinic. But the way of working with whānau, the collective understand, making sure we're working across our agencies, we're sharing data that is confidential, that has been given consent to be shared, and we're affecting some sort of whānau plan, what it is that those whānau need, and helping them, hopefully be the only car up the driveway, helping them achieve that. But the sticking point, and Te Pare's presentation really got to the guts of that, is when it gets up to that next level, we go, right, we can help this whānau if we can do this, this, that, and that, and then, most of that we can't do, because this agency's got certain criteria, can't do it that way. This other place, they've only funded for a certain amount of things, you can only do so many visits. You need 20, 100 counselling sessions, but you can have 3. All of those things, those barriers we hit up against over and over. Right now in the Tairāwhiti, where do you send your whānau who need counselling? If you're going to throw money at us, let's start with 10 full-time counsellors. I just made that number up right now, but I'm sure it'll help right now. But it's one of so many different things that we need, that when we say this is what we need, that doesn't happen. Because someone somewhere else has decided this is what you get. Now you've got to work out how to work within that. So I'm excited for what Te Pare is presenting, because it always gets up to when it gets to those barriers that our whānau hit, that our practitioners hit, that even the leaders in our rohe hit. I have sat at the tables where we say, right, here's an issue, and we've got senior people, we've got incredible people in the Tairāwhiti, really high up in their organisation, in their government department, and they can't make that change. So when you say that the national changes are so important for making changes locally, that is the part that we want to really focus in on. We want to say, right, we've got some coming to work with us, police absolutely involved, whangaia absolutely involved, and saying, right, what are those barriers? And as soon as we hit them, go into that agency and say, right, this is happening, what are you going to do about it? Can we do this locally? Does it have to go regionally, or does it have to go right to the top? And actually really, really focusing on there. There's not much, we're not here to assess any of the kaimahi working in the space. We know you do incredible work. That's not in question. It's what is stopping you from doing even more. And the time you have, and the funding you have, and the heart that you have, what can we do to make your work easier and to make life better for whānau? Because I want a world where our whānau decide what it is they want, they explain that to us, and we get on and sort it out. That they stand in their own mana, that we see them as more than just a person who might be in crisis in a given moment. That everything about them, their mauri, their mana, their whakapapa, is not just a tick box that we say we've asked about, it's something we respect and we can uphold in the way that we work and the way that we take their data, take their information, make them spill their guts. So what are we going to do about it? I want us, and I want to be part of it, and I took on this role so we could actually take us to that next level and say, right, our whānau deserve our absolute best. And the people in this room, all of the ones who are not here, out here doing the work, are doing this because the government is not. System harm is harm against our whānau. We want to identify the barriers from that system. We want a simple way to say, hey, this is happening, let's do something about it, and let's get on with it. So our whānau can just get on with their lives. So, kia ora, got a little bit passionate about it, but I care deeply about what happens to our whānau, and if we can work, I heard someone say walk alongside our whānau. That's the role I want to see us in. I don't want to be the person that tells our whānau what to do, but most definitely I don't want to be the person that tells them what they can't do because my funding contract won't cover it, because the system won't change a stupid form because it's suddenly too hard. How about we just get on with it? Kia ora koutou.